Hey, there we go.
Super good, super good. Let me. Okay. Now you are on the center of the stage. I'll
All
give you
right.
just 30 seconds. I will present you. Okay.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we have our interpretation services going on, so people can choose in that little wall globe down there if they want to listen to you in Spanish or in original English. I recommend to listen to Kurt in original English because his pronunciation, the vocabulary, and everything. It's something I haven't told you before that it's something I enjoy a lot. So it's going to be a double class, okay? Okay, I present it just in Spanish. Bueno, os presento a Kurt. Kurt tiene también un pasado de conocimiento de nuestro mercado. Él ha estado durante muchos años, especialmente en compañías especializadas en Salesforce, hasta el punto de que incluso pues, fundó una compañía con esa especialización, con una especialización en Salesforce. Y tiene una carrera entonces muy exitosa de venta de tecnología previa. Llegó un momento en que vio la oportunidad en Salesforce y estuvo pues, con su compañía con esa especialización durante un tiempo, y en 2011 LinkedIn, que era algo todavía relativamente incipiente, salió público a bolsa, fue un boom, y Kurt vio que ahí estaba la siguiente oportunidad y dirigió todo lo que era su conocimiento, su negocio y su compañía hacia ahí. Hace aproximadamente 4 años, no sé la fecha exacta porque tenemos relación, creo que es, bueno, pues el año pasado creo que era hace 3 años, o sea que ahora era más o menos 4, se juntaron 4 de las personas con sus compañías que eran los mayores expertos del mercado precisamente en LinkedIn. No solo LinkedIn, sino social selling, todo lo que es venta apoyada en tecnología. 4 personas que por separado son absolutos gigantes, y juntos, pues bueno, juntos el resultado es que Vengreso, que su compañía es la número 1 mundial en formación, en social selling y en venta apoyada en tecnología. Esto no lo digo yo, tampoco lo dicen ellos, eso lo dice que, bueno, a partir del segundo año de existencia de Vengreso ya recibió el premio de la Asociación Mundial a la empresa de formación en ese tipo de disciplinas mejor del mundo, y desde entonces lo ha ido repitiendo el premio, lo han ido consiguiendo un año detrás de otro, que es como ganar el Oscar de lo mismo, pues a partir de tu segundo año de actor, y además que te lo den cada año seguido desde entonces. Y Kurt en concreto es el vicepresidente del desarrollo de negocio, es un experto precisamente en eso, en venta de soluciones a clientes empresariales, con un trasfondo además de apoyo en tecnología importante. Kurt, I saw you are very much used to have people surrounding you that are Spanish speaking, or at least half Spanish speaking. So I guess part of what I said you understood, but in any case, I just explained the truth about Vengreso and you. And now the stage is yours. I leave you.
All right. Great. Well, thank you, Jose. I want to thank you and everybody at the IT Sales Institute. It's been great to work with you as partners, and I'm excited to be part of your Congress here to kick, well, actually, we're closing out, but to help you kick off the year for 2021. Obviously, it's quite a unique scenario. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over and just go right into my slides, and we're going to talk really about prospecting in this digital world.
Conseguir esos prospectos en el mundo digital, sobre todo con las personas de ventas y líderes de ventas o ingenieros y directores de clientes.
All of these tactics are going to apply. Now I'm going to start out by talking about just 4 factors that are happening in the world that we all know about. None of these should be a surprise, but they lay the foundation for how we're going to approach prospects. It was great to hear Carolyn talking just a few minutes ago, and she was talking about how the fact you can't be single-threaded with just a phone call or a business conference anymore to meet those prospects. And so we're going to talk first about the fact that everybody, buyers, sellers, everybody in the world, very digitally enabled now. These are some stats that come out from Hootsuite every year. You can see that we're about due for a refresh. And even a year ago, before all the COVID lockdowns, you can see just the huge penetration of who's on the internet, who's using the phone, who's using social media. And we can expect those numbers are just really going to accelerate when the statistics come out at the end of this month. The next thing we all know is we're all socially connected. These are some of the bigger social networks around the world, but there are hundreds of them in particular niche areas. And that's another huge growing trend. The third thing that we're going to be conscious of when we're looking for new customers is the fact that everybody's mobilely attached. Again, even if we're all stuck at home, right? We all have our smartphone, right there in front of us on the desk in our pocket, and we need to be conscious of that as we're trying to reach people. Don't call them late at night, though. Not too late at night. And then the last thing is video. Everybody is video hungry. We all do it, whether we're learning something for business or we're trying to figure out how to fix the dishwasher. All right, and we go to look for some online tutorials. Everyone now is so used to consuming these short videos for information. So again, it just plays into our role as a seller. So we sometimes use this slide just to say that, as you're trying to reach IT buyers, it was already hard enough before, obviously, all the quarantines. And then in the last year, many people have been working from home. So it's an entirely different scenario to try and reach them. This was a comment from a CIO, Chief Information Officer. And he said, there's only two, you can't reach me with cold calls or email anymore. You either have to get introduced by someone I know or post something that catches my eye. Now, if you're a smart seller, you're going to break those two down. And you're going to look at the two different ways that this executive IT buyer said that you could reach him. Now, the first method on the left is a very tried and true sales technique to get introduced by a common connection. That's really a typical outbound prospecting move that any seller that's been working for a few months knows the power of. The one on the other side, however, that's kind of newer to most salespeople, particularly if you're an older salesperson like I am. You didn't grow up with social networks where you could post content and people would engage with it. So maybe if you're 25 or 30, you kind of grew up with social networks, but anything beyond that, you have to kind of go back and learn, how is this effective for me to reach my buyers? Well, LinkedIn is great at those two things, getting referrals and attracting prospects to you through the content that you share. And so over the next about 15 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 4 key skills to understand in LinkedIn. I'm going to show you 4 success stories from clients. And I'm also going to show you 4 tips and resources that you can use to apply these same lessons. So these are the 4 things we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about your online profile, your LinkedIn profile. We're going to talk about growing your network. We're going to talk about prospecting, and then we're going to talk about feeding your network with content. So first one up is profile, your LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to start with this success story from one of our clients that called me up and said, hey, I thought you'd like to know, I just won a 6-figure contract that all started when a prospect noticed my upgraded LinkedIn headline and reached out to me. So that's pretty powerful. The lead generation method, the source of this business, all happened because this one individual IT seller changed the headline. You know, the headline is that piece right underneath your name. A lot of times people will just put their title in there, account manager. So here's the pop quiz, Jose, for the group as you guys end your IT Sales Congress. Here's the pop quiz. Before this IT seller went through our training, their LinkedIn headline used to say account executive. Now, can anyone tell me, what did this person sell? Who did they sell it to? What was the outcome the customer wanted? Can you tell me from looking at that information? The answer is no, because there's not enough information. So this person that won the business changed their headline. Instead of just saying account executive, they changed it to, I help fast growth companies implement secure cloud and SaaS solutions that scale, right? Carolyn was just talking about cloud and SaaS are becoming so important. So if you're a fast growth company and you see that headline on LinkedIn, they actually reached out to this salesperson, started a conversation, and 2 months later, he had a 6-figure contract because this headline attracted the right kind of buyer. So there's really only 2 things you have to put into your headline. Number 1, who do you serve? Who do you serve? Is it fast growth companies? Is it companies based in Spain? Is it manufacturers? Is it companies of a certain size? Do you only work in the Barcelona area? Do you focus on security companies, right? Or maybe you serve the financial services industry. Assuming you don't sell to every single business in the world, who do you serve? You have to answer that question for yourself. And then the next question is, what is the outcome that you help them achieve? What is the outcome that you help them achieve? So if you're going to take quick notes, of course, you can have these slides yourself, but if you're going to take quick notes and you write those down, you can recraft your headline. Maybe you'll call me up in 2 months and tell me you won a big deal because of it. Now, actually, before I mention this, I will just show a couple of examples. This is my LinkedIn profile, so you can see, hope you know what I do. I help sales teams reach more prospects with digital remote selling. That's it. If a sales leader sees this and they want to reach their sellers to reach more prospects, they'll call me up. Here is one of our clients in the Barcelona area. We just completed a project with Micro Focus, the software company. And here we can see that the profile here, he has his banner. And what does he do? He empowers enterprise organizations to lead their business objectives through digital transformation. Whoops, sorry. So that's just kind of the idea for your profile. Let's get back to that PowerPoint. So the resource I'll leave you with is we have an ebook called The Ultimate Guide for Sales Professionals. And at the end, I will tell you guys where to get all these resources. Okay, number 2, let's talk about the network, your network. Why is this important? Well, it's important because you can get introductions. Here's an example. Another client said, hey, I saw that a former coworker was connected to one of my top prospects. And when I called to ask for an introduction, he said, sure. In fact, I'm actually meeting with her today and I'll mention it and report back to you. So getting an introduction is so valuable to start a sales conference, and LinkedIn tells you who the common connections are. Now, a lot of people wonder, well, how do I get these connections? And again, this is a list. It's I'm going to show you a list of 10 different centers of influence, 10 different types of people that should probably be in your LinkedIn network. Again, Caroline's presentation was so valuable because she said just about 20 minutes ago, you know, in IT selling now, you're not just selling to the IT department. You might be selling to a business leader or an executive or a managing director because of cloud and SaaS. So that's why you need to grow your network beyond traditional IT buyers. So your LinkedIn network should include customers, prospects, product partners, your vendors, referral sources, co-workers, past co-workers, networking groups, industry associations, alumni of your college or university, and people who viewed your profile. Those are 10 different people. If you just had 100 from each group, you would have 1,000 people in your LinkedIn network. So that's why having a strong network is so important. So I will ask everybody that's listening now, if you want to add one more person to your network, I'd love to connect with you if you send me an invitation. But before you hit that connect button, if you're grabbing your smartphone, let me just tell you, don't click connect, because that sends the default message. What you actually have to do is, if you're using a smartphone, you have to click that little button that says more, and that'll allow you to send me a private message that says, you saw me on the IT Sales Congress. And that way I know it's not some kind of spam. I know it's a legitimate invitation from people. Okay, that was number 2. And here's the resource that is available to you. This is a webinar about turning those connections into real insights and starting a sales conversation. Okay, we're halfway there. Number 3, let's talk about now actually prospecting, actually going in and finding those people. How do you do it? Well, the first thing is you have to know who you're looking for. Now, here's an example of, again, another client, and they're using LinkedIn to find these new prospects. In their case, an IT director that they were connected to on LinkedIn just started a new job, and that shows up as a notification on LinkedIn. So our client reached out to offer congratulations to the person on the new job, and the ensuing conversation ended up uncovering a new data center opportunity. Again, LinkedIn just tells you in the notifications area who's having a new job. Just to show it to you, I'll jump over there very quickly. If I jump into my notifications area, chances are good somewhere in here is going to tell me, okay, so this person just started a new job, right, as a senior field manager. So it's very easy for me to, I could say congratulations, I could reach out to him directly. And everybody, this is really important to do now, really important to pay attention to it now, because January is the highest volume month of people switching jobs, right? There's a lot of job changes at the beginning of the year. So take a look at that in January. You might uncover a data center opportunity like this person. Now, when we talk about prospecting here, what I'm showing is, I was just using the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Jose, now I'll ask, I know you had somebody from LinkedIn yesterday on the conference, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they talk a little bit about how you can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator for searching?
Didn't reach this level of detail. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just mention it. So LinkedIn, again, I don't work for LinkedIn, so I don't have any vested interest in saying this, but so LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the highest level of LinkedIn. It's a fee. It costs money rather than free LinkedIn. And you get a lot of different search filters, more than you get in the free. And so it's very powerful. You can do things like, tell me the person's title, or what function, or what department are they in, or how long have they been at that job, or how big is the company. You can see all the different things that I can search on over here on the left-hand side. But this example, all I did was I said, show me CIOs down at the bottom here. I said, just show me CIOs in Barcelona. How many are there? Who are they? There's almost 500 of them in this search on LinkedIn. And again, because you see these people, it tells me second level, second level, second level. That means these connections down here might be able to introduce me to them. So it's a very powerful prospecting technique to find exactly the people you want and then see, do you know anyone that could introduce you to them? So that's the prospecting value of LinkedIn, being able to go in and do that searching. Now, once you've found the person, then you need to engage them, right? How are you going to get them in a sales conversation? How are you going to get them on the telephone? How are you going to get them into a Zoom conference? Well, you have to do, in some way, you need to attract them. You need to show them that you help companies like them, that you can serve their needs or their top priorities in the company. And so the next resource, this one might be the most valuable one. This is just an image of another ebook that we have. which talks about what we call the PVC method. And those three terms you see there on the image, that stands for personalization, value, and a call to action. And these are really the three building blocks for a successful outreach email. Could be an email or it could be a message in LinkedIn. But if you're writing a prospecting message, it should have these three elements to have the greatest success of getting a reply from your prospect. So personalization, what do I mean by that? It could mean something about the company. Maybe the company just expanded or acquired a company, or they rolled out a new product. It could be something about the person. Maybe you know what university they went to. Maybe they just posted something on LinkedIn that you could comment about. Maybe they're connected to somebody that you know and you want to mention that person's name. So just something that's going to be personal, that's going to make it look different than just a email spam blast that some other seller did, or even your marketing department, because your marketing department, you know, they're just not going to do the research that a seller would. So if a seller spends 2 minutes on somebody's LinkedIn profile, you can usually come up with personalization. Then you have the value piece. The value piece would be something like, you know, we've worked with 8 out of 10 of the leading banks in Spain. Or, you know, we specialize in zero trust cloud security systems. Or, you know, we've worked with your other business unit, you know, in Italy, and we thought you might be interested in getting the same results. So what is the value that you're bringing? And then finally, the call to action typically is, let's set up some kind of a meeting. It doesn't have to be, let's set up some kind of a meeting. It could be, are you interested in our free security audit? Would you like to contribute to a blog article that we're putting together about IT management, right? But there has to be some ask, something you're asking them to do, which requires them to do action. That's going to be your indicator of interest. And whether it directly or leads to a conversation, it's going to get you into a sales conversation. So this ebook not only talks about concepts, but it actually has scripts in it that you can lift and customize.
Cuenta con un guión de conversación que podemos adaptar a nosotros. Tienen guiones de conversación. Luego os daré el enlace a estos recursos.
Last one is about feeding your network. And what we here mean is you're sharing content on LinkedIn, valuable content for your network that they're going to see and be interested in. So here's another success story from an IT seller. A CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, Chief Information Security Officer liked my post about cloud security. I thanked him for the like and asked him what prompted it. He said that it's a hot topic with the company's board right now, and now we're meeting next week to discuss a security assessment. Again, this is a very effective way to generate leads on LinkedIn. Whatever your area of expertise is, or your company's area of expertise is, if you're regularly sharing information about that at LinkedIn, or you could go look at somebody else's post about your area. Maybe it's endpoint security. Maybe it's disaster recovery. Maybe it's, you know, fiber optic connectivity. Whatever your area of specialty is, you can either post information that you get from your company or the industry, or you can go find that kind of information and add your comments, add your thoughts to that. Either one of those could trigger a dialogue with someone. So I mentioned the different types of content that you might share. Let me show them to you again to make it a little bit easier. This is an example of a solution provider. Used to be a US-based, well, I guess this company is still a US-based solution provider, but they just got acquired by Computer Center. So anyway, they're now a very large part of a global solution provider company. So the point being, you can share content that comes from your company, from your marketing department, from your company's LinkedIn page. You can do that. Or you might look at one of your vendors. Maybe your vendor is publishing something. Here's something from Cisco about getting more out of secure remote working. Obviously, a very hot topic in the last year because of the COVID quarantines. So if you are a partner of one of your vendors, certainly they're going to be publishing lots of great valuable content that you can share. Finally, you might have just general industry information that your audience is interested in. In fact, CompTIA, where Carolyn's from, would be a good source. There's going to be a lot of great research you saw that she covered. So that could be a resource. In this case, I took it from, I can't remember. I took it from a magazine. I don't know if it was like, I think it was CIO magazine. But again, if you think about your audience and what they're interested in, if you're selling to IT people, would they be interested in an article about a salary survey of IT people? Absolutely. So even though this doesn't directly link to your specific product that you're selling, it does raise your visibility and credibility as a valued resource for your network of people. And that's how you can start a sales conversation. So the last resource in this area that you can access, this is a webinar that I did with Trish Bertuzzi, who is another sales expert. And we talk during this webinar, we talk about the using content and how you can share information to raise your visibility, raise your brand in the marketplace, become the go-to expert for whatever it is that you're selling. And that is another great resource that you can check out. Okay, so this is what we talked about, kind of a summary here. We talked about how to upgrade your profile. I'm going to give you access to that ebook that covers the 10 elements of a LinkedIn profile and how you can upgrade yours to attract more prospects. We talked about the importance of growing your network, certainly out of IT, with all those 10 different types or categories of people. We talked about how you can prospect and how you can search, whether you're using the free LinkedIn or one of the paid versions of LinkedIn, how you can search for that person and then engage with them using that PVC method to personalize, to add value and have a call to action. And then the last element we talked about was sharing content on LinkedIn. Oh, actually, I'm gonna show you just real quickly one thing about sharing content. Again, just to show you the power of how many people you can actually attract in this scenario. So one of the things you can do on LinkedIn is you can do polls. I don't know if anyone has done it, but you can actually post a poll on LinkedIn and people can come on and vote. And it's a great way to get information, but it's also a great way to showcase your expertise. This is one that I just posted 2 days ago. You can see right here. And the engagement on this has been incredible. So far, it's had over, well, down here you can see it's had over 35,000 views and 756 votes. And if I wanted to see, a little bit about who's viewing it, it tells me the top companies are IBM, Salesforce, Lumen, that used to be called CenturyLink. It tells me the titles and it tells me the locations of where the people are viewing. So again, sharing information, or in this case, I wasn't even sharing information. I was just asking, how often should a CMO post content on LinkedIn? And again, a lot of engagement here, over 100 likes plus comments, 756 votes, 35,000 views. So just kind of a glimpse of that. The last thing that I'm going to mention, this is beyond LinkedIn, beyond the 4 critical elements here, but video is becoming so valuable now for a seller. Why is that? Because everybody's been locked in their house for a year. And so particularly if we have any channel managers on the line right now, whose job is to stay in touch with partners and to stay top of mind, video is really powerful for channel managers, but really any kind of a seller as well. because you want to use your face and you want to build that rapport and you want to bring some humanity. All of those things are better done in video. And you can send video messaging to your level 1 connections very easily. If you just pull them up and you go to the message section on your smartphone, there's a little tiny plus sign. Hit that plus sign and it'll pop up the option to send them a video like I did here. You can see this one was really quick, just 13 seconds, but it's a nice way to, you know, if you can't see them and you haven't seen a customer or one of your partners for a year, just to say hi, give them a smile, how's it going? Maybe mention something that you could put in there. So I really encourage people to use video. Again, great way to build rapport, to share your humanity, to strengthen that relationship during times of social isolation. And in fact, if you send me a LinkedIn connection this week, if I get a connection from you that says you heard me on the IT Sales Congress, I will reply with a video message, which might be your first LinkedIn video message received. So that's a little bit of extension into the world of video. All right, well, I'm going to leave you with 2 sets of resources. The first is if you want to stay up to date on various digital, remote, virtual selling techniques, we have a lot of different content, gets updated every week, whether it's on LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter. All of those are available at Vengreso, the company. And then all the resources that I mentioned, the profile ebook, the PVC ebook, and the 2 webinars are available at our website. There's the URL. If you just made it to vengreso.com, you'll see one of the navigations as resources. You can click on that and it'll take you to everything you would want to know about digital selling. So Jose, with that, we did kind of a quick run through of different ways to prospect using LinkedIn. But I know we're a little bit over, so I'm going to turn it back to you. I don't know if we want to answer a question or you just want to wrap it up. But thank you so much for having me, and it's back in your hands.
Thank you very much, Kurt. No, it's okay. You started a bit later, and I think it's super to the point, and I think no one thought it was long. I think all of us is probably having the impression that we would like it to extend it a bit more, but I know that there is so much to explain. Let me just finish the comment in Spanish, if you don't mind. Lo que acaba de explicar Kurt es absolutamente cierto. Son una máquina de producir contenido extremadamente interesante. Muchísimo contenido interesante, muy interesante, que además es gratuito, así que nuestra recomendación es que os suscribáis a sus newsletters, que vayáis a su web, que les estéis viendo. Tendréis que seleccionar porque, ya digo, son muy buenos y muy productivos, con lo cual hay muchísimo, pero muchísimo de muchos tipos diferentes. Buscar el tipo de contenido que producen en audio, en vídeo, en escrito. Los 2 ebooks que él está recomendando, yo también os los recomiendo. El primero es como una guía básica de pasar una ITV a vuestro perfil de LinkedIn. Me parece un básico muy recomendable. Yo soy un fan de su método PVC, que es muy simple, pero que es muy organizado. Así que también os recomiendo que bajéis ese vídeo. Nosotros tenemos un partnership con Vengreso firmado desde hace tiempo y somos un canal de acceso a ello también. Así que si alguien además ve sus cursos, está interesado en hacer sus cursos, tanto el curso básico de LinkedIn, el de Sales Navigator, todo lo que es el bootcamp de utilización de vídeo para comerciales, poneros en contacto con nosotros porque además tenemos códigos de descuento que estaremos encantados de proporcionaros. Y es una compañía que recomendamos que sigáis de forma muy cercana. Os enviaremos además, tenemos varias preguntas aquí, tanto en el chat como en la ventana de Question and Answers. Se las enviaremos nosotros a Kurt y os las haremos llegar junto con los enlaces a sus ebooks. Y nada más. Kurt, I will just say bye to the Congress, but you are free to stay this last minute or to leave. Thank you very much for your time, and we will make sure that all your links, etc., it's really arriving to everyone, both the people that were staying now here, plus the people that are inscribed but didn't reach to stay. Okay.